In today's episode, I'm debunking the common misconception that the help desk is a dead-end job or is going to limit your growth in the IT industry. So stay tuned. And don't forget to click like, subscribe, and that notification bell. Welcome to Debt Free in IT. I'm your host, Mike. This podcast is for anyone that's looking to get into the IT industry, whether it's for a career change or you're just interested. I think you come to the right place. With the majority of IT professionals getting their start at the help desk, it's still often considered a dead-end job to some people. In my eyes, I don't necessarily buy to that fact. One thing I know about the help desk is that the help desk is going to give you what you put in. So if you get at that help desk and you're hungry, you're consistent, you're good at troubleshooting your tickets, people will notice and you will flourish. But then on the other hand, if you get in that help desk position, you get comfortable, you expect for a manager to hand you a higher level position for you just being there, then you're probably going to be at that help desk for a while. So the following reasons is why I say the help desk is not a dead-end role. So the first reason I have that why the help desk is not a dead-end role is that the help desk is usually your gateway into the IT industry. So for most of us, we went to school, graduated, or you just started studying on your own, but somehow we ended up in this help desk role. So that was our gateway into the IT industry. From that help desk role, it showed us how an enterprise works, how an enterprise operates. So just from working that help desk role, we was able to see how other departments work in the IT industry, because usually in this help desk role, you're going to be in contact with those other departments. So if an issue come in and you can't handle, you got to know which department to escalate it to. Therefore, by you knowing which department to escalate it to, you get an inside view on what each department does. So if you're interested in networking, you pay attention to the different issues you have to escalate the networking. And then that way, it helps you to determine the path that you want to choose, because you get that inside view of each one of those IT departments and how they operate. So if it's something you don't necessarily like, oh, I can't see myself doing this, then that may not be the career path you want to go. But this help desk is what's going to help you learn and help you shape your knowledge on which way you want to go within the IT industry. So my second reason why I think the help desk is not a dead-end role is because this is where you're going to develop your skills. So this is where you're going to learn those skills that's going to transfer to any IT department. So this is where you're going to start putting that troubleshooting skills that you learned via your certifications, or you learned from doing labs, or you learned from college, or you learned from self-study. This is where all of that is going to start coming in handy, because you done read about it. Now you're putting it to use. So in each one of these skills that you learn and perfect, you're going to get better at troubleshooting. And then with this getting better at troubleshooting, it's going to prepare you for any path or any position you decide to go to within the IT industry. Because in most positions, if you're in a user environment, most of the time the IT department has to do some sort of troubleshooting to help out those users that's in that environment that have issues from time to time. If you're finding value in this episode and you're watching via YouTube or your favorite podcasting app, please leave me a review or a comment. If you have a friend that needs to hear this, please share this episode with them. So my third reason on why the help desk is not a dead-end role is because it's going to provide you networking opportunities. So if you think about it, you're in a help desk position, you're working, you're taking calls, issues come, you have to escalate those issues. So you're escalating those issues to higher teams. So you're escalating issues to the server team, networking team, security team, development team, whatever team you have in your environment. So while you're escalating these issues, people are going to start to remember you. Oh, that's Mike from the help desk. But then also what people are going to start to do is you're going to start having conversations with these individuals, especially if you're someone that when you contact them, you're on point. You done did your troubleshooting steps. You can lay out to them, oh, I done did this, this, and this, and this, and I don't have access to do this, but it's what I think it may be. But, I need to contact you because you have access. So you're going to start to build up a rapport, and then people are going to start to notice that, oh, he's pretty swift. He's pretty swift, or she's pretty good. So they're going to start to notice this thing, a lot of things like that. So then, as in talking to them, if you decide on what position you want to get in, let's say it's networking, for instance, if you want to get in a networking position, you're contacting the networking engineers all the time, then it ain't going to hurt to just ask them, say, hey, interested in networking, what do I need to work on to end up maybe landing a role in y'all department? And a lot of times these engineers, they're not going to not answer you. So a lot of times they're going to give you that valuable advice. Like they may say, oh, okay, for our entry level positions, we require for someone to at least have the Cisco CCNA. So this is going to give you something to work towards. So you know that, okay, I want to end up as a network engineer, and I just spoke to this engineer, or maybe you spoke to the manager. A lot of times, all of them are open for giving you advice. So if you spoke to the manager, they may say, hey, you need to have this. But also what happens is when they tell you, oh, you need to have this certification, what's going to put the icing on the cake is when you go out, study, and get that certification. Then you come back to them and say, hey, if possible, can I shadow with y'all? You know, I've been studying this Cisco stuff. You know, I done got my certification, but it's going to put you on their radar. And then when something comes open and you apply for it, they'll know that you've been putting in that hard work. So like I said, the help desk is going to provide those valuable networking opportunities. And then speaking of certifications, that's going to bring me to my last reason why the help desk role is not a dead end job. So while you're at the help desk, and long as you're working for a decent company, a lot of times these companies is going to provide you free training, or they're going to pay for you to get different certifications. So while you're at this help desk, you can say, oh, I want to eventually end up in networking. I want to eventually end up in security. So you could let your manager know that, hey, you know, I plan on trying to study for this or whatever. And a lot of times they'll tell you, well, you know, we have this free application that you can use to take courses, or you find me a course out there that you want to take and we'll pay for it. And then you just go get the certification for it. So because it's going to be a win-win to both parties. So it's a win-win. It's a win for you because you're going to get that certification, but then it's going to be a win for your employer also, because they're going to have someone that's certified that they can move up from within. And then usually the downside of this is a lot of times moving up from within, you may not get the pay as if moving up from the outside, but you will be able to make that transition into that higher role. And then you have this certification that's your certification, no matter who paid for you, you're the one that's passed it. So you have this certification that's yours. You move up, you get the position, you start getting your experience, and then you start going out and deciding on what steps you want to take to progress in your career. So that brings me to the end of this episode. Hopefully you found some value in this episode. If you're watching via YouTube, please subscribe. If you're on Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook, you can follow me at Debt Free in IT. If you have any questions or comments, you can send me an email at debtfreeinit@gmail.com, or you can visit the website www.debtfreeinitwithmike.com. Other than that, I'll see you next week. Peace.